Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Limbus Company reaction. Today we have a set of songs from the Yield My Flesh to Claim Their Bones event, I guess. It was like chapter 5.5. I don't really know anything about this. The comment didn't say anything about it. They just said it would be cool if I were to get to like a compilation from this event. And another comment said that I might have listened to some of these in the past, but I looked and I didn't see any of them. So I don't think I've heard any of these before. And without any other context to go off of, I guess let's go. Woo, okay. It just started so suddenly. Always catches me off guard when that happens. Okay, that's gotta be a flute. I couldn't tell initially. I was like, what instrument is that? Yeah, okay. Much more clear now. Very energetic, fun, fast-paced sound here. There's something very unsettling about that flute. I think it's just the fact that the like vibrato on it is not steady with the rest of the song, I think. That might be what that is. Is vibrato the right term? There might be a different term for actual woodwind players. I'm not one. But you know what I mean, that warbliness. Just the fact that it's so labored compared to the rest of the fast-paced song here. Kind of throws you off a little bit. Woo. A little slower. These like brass bells that are being played in the background. Such an interesting sound to use. Loving the vibe of this one though. Kind of got a mix of traditional and modern going on with it. Like, the rhythm feels like it's a lot more modern inspired. All the other instruments on it feel a lot more traditional. They definitely are. And just a bunch of different things happening all at once. A bunch of different rhythms. Feels like nothing's agreeing in that song except for the overall, like, goal. And now we're in, like, the dark shit. Okay. now it feels sinister. Got that tension to build now. The head of the mafia is very disappointed in you. I recognize this dude in the straw hat, but I don't know his name. I've seen him around before, though. Ooh. Ooh. God, the amount of tension they're building on here. Every single time they shift into something a little bit more oppressive, I'm like, whoa. And there's that flute again. Again, the kind of like labored warbliness in that is just... it embodies the sound of struggle so well. And it just makes everything feel a little bit more unsettling. That solid drone of the strings too. That's really what's just like laying the groundwork for everything in this. Just sounding so pressured. Like, ooh. Got some more energy coming back in. Now Mafia Daddy is upset. He's starting to show his fangs a little bit, maybe. Got the return of that like bell like gong kind of sound underneath, but this is like being like opened and choked, very controlled, using it as a subtle accent. Great percussion in this entire collection so far. They're just doing everything right. Especially this part, like with those cymbals in there. Just like opening it slowly and reclosing on it, just the dynamics of the percussion in this, so well thought out. And the strings are just doing all their work on the bottom. Man, that was so short for how much was going on there. I'm going to have to listen to this one again, and I'll get back to you guys with my overall thoughts. So after listening again, I'm honestly not sure if there's too much I can add aside from what I said during the reaction, because it is kind of just exactly what's on the tin here. They are songs that are heavily inspired by traditional sounds and approaches to the music. Like, they want you to feel like this is a true samurai battle in certain ways, and even though in some spots, like in that second song, there's definitely a little bit more of a modern influence in there just to keep things kind of like rooted in a more modern approach, overall it's still very traditional, and every single song in this collection is that. And I think the overall approach to why they're doing that is just to keep things kind of straightforward. Like, you need to know who the good guys and bad guys are and what their vibe is. And I think going for this traditional sound definitely makes that vibe pretty obvious. You're kind of going for like a traditional, almost Yakuza style mafia situation here. There is somebody at fault. There is a controlled party or a controlling party that's trying to take care of them, maybe take them out or take them down. And the other group is trying to oppose that for some reason. And I'm sure in the story there's a whole like syndicated thing where there's like a bunch of different branches of like a main family of a mafia group of some sort, and that's just one of the branches acting out, and they're like, okay, time to take them down. The usual thing. Like, if you've ever watched any anime with that sort of a vibe, even something like Samurai Champloo, or even more modernly like Sakamoto Days, kind of has similar approaches sometimes in the backgrounds of their music, albeit much more modern. In Sakamoto Days, there's still that general approach to like, okay, there's problems here, we need to take them down, take them out, fix the problems, and continue on with it. But in that, I don't really know if there's too much to say, because it's kind of just background music, you know? Like, that is what this collection is. It's not boss themes. It doesn't seem to really be trying to pull out a specific character type and a specific like personality out of any of these songs, other than the broad spectrum of what they're supposed to be covering. So you want to go for the vibe of like mafia samurai situations, situations, this is what you would make. And yeah, it nailed that. And every single one of these songs did approach a different sort of energy around it, like of that situation of, okay, we need to regulate the problem children in this scenario, so let's do this. Like every song in here had that different sort of energy. Like the first song being a little bit more of like a setup, the second song being more like they have discovered the hideout and they need to enter it to be able to handle stuff. The third part being like, okay, now it's a show off between the two mafia bosses directly between each other, or at very least just the subordinates that were set out to handle this situation. So like they're dealing with like the whole discussion of just like the, okay, are you going to comply or are we going to have to handle this right here, right now? And by the time the fourth song comes around, that definitely feels like boss music energy. Not quite a boss fight, but definitely the final like instances of that conversation going south and right before somebody takes somebody else's head off. So that's kind of the vibes you get. It brings it pretty straightforward through that story for me. And again, there's not too much else I can say on that one. So I guess that'll be the end of this video. If you have any other songs from Project Moon stuff in general you want me to get to, or anything from like Millie, because I did a Millie video last week, let me know down in the comments below. And of course, I will do my best to get to it as always. And if you just enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!